160 pages in of my reread of Anathema before I go into Eldritch. So basically, this story is about Mavis, who we see at the beginning kind of go about her life in this village. And she was not born in this village. She was found in a baby basket at these people's doorsteps. And now she has a sister. She is considered like the black sheep of this village, and people think she's cursed and she kills people and she's a witch and all these things. But this village has this woody area called Witchnell, and they do a lot of banishing practices there and get rid of all the people that don't believe in their like religion that they have. It's really weird. And so that's that. Well, Mavis' sister, she does something. I can't tell what it is. It's kind of a spoilery thing. She does something to get her in trouble. So she is essentially banished to Witchnell, and Mavis is wanting to go save her and find her sister. And then we have another POV, which is Zavander's, which is the male main protagonist, the love interest, what have you. And he is this man that can control, like, sable fire is called, and some scorpions, okay? Honestly, I think of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. It's really funny. He kind of looks like it, too, with the description, with his, like, half-covered face. But, so he was raised, at the beginning of the book, you learn, so literally within the first, like, 20 pages, but he was raised a Lunaiser. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a person that, like, this bloodline. There's 7 or 8 bloodlines. They control they have powers from the moon. So his father does something to where he wants to pay debts or whatever, and then uses his two only living, sons for this debt. And this witch or wizard or whatever takes the sorcerer, takes the kids and gives them to this thing called sable fire, and it kind of like eats away at everything, and it's just really evil. But so Zavander and his brother are overtaken with this sable fire. Zavander's like the only one that really can use it. His brother is this creepy little fucking monster thing. It's cool. But Zavander is working with this other sorcerer now in the current timeline to collect these bloodstones. And every single bloodline he has to get a bloodstone from to make this weapon that could kind of fix his sable fire problem and get rid of all of that, and he can go back to normal or something of the sort, or get rid of I know the bad wizard is gone, hopefully, and they need this weapon to get rid of the sable fire because it is like overtaking his life. And so he's got almost every single one of them except the human realm, and they're separated realms. And so he has to go over there, and they think that the human realm is like this destitute area where it's just like a barren wasteland pretty much. And he goes, figures it out, it's not a barren wasteland, and he like sees her. He goes in there, but he sees her laying down. He thinks she smells like oranges. I've noticed that a lot of, like in The Poisoner too, the female main character smells like citrus, or likes citrus and the cutie oranges, and this one smells like oranges. And I'm just like, does oranges smell good to people? Like to men? Because I'll start wearing oranges so my husband can, be like, oh my God, she smells like heaven. I love cuties, though. I freaking love cuties. I might have one right now. But anyways, so Mavis, this is the part where I'm at right now. Zavander is trying to kill Mavis, okay, to get the bloodstone. Lo and behold, he can't kill Mavis. he thinks she's attractive or whatever, but he physically is trying to burn her alive, like inside out, and quite literally can't. He is hurting himself doing it. So that's where I am. This reread, my God, it is getting to me. I don't know why, but the first time I read it, it was bad. I didn't like it. Not bad, but it was a 3.5 stars for me, which is the lowest rating I've ever given a Carrie Lake book. And I was like, that was not fair, because I know Carrie Lake is a badass writer and she can make me love and give anything 5 stars. So I said, let me give it a reread. And I'm glad, because it's sitting at like a 4.5 right now, and I'm only 160 something pages in. So let me get to it and I'll give you an update. At the beginning of the story, you see that she has to kill this like crow raven thing, right? Crow. And she comes across this egg, okay? She holds onto this egg, and I won't tell you like how she comes across it or whatever. But she comes across this little egg, and it like hatches into this little baby thing that's like a mix between, she describes it as like a mix between like a dragon and a crow. And I'm like, what? And I see somebody drew like art for it, and I'll show you what like the adult version of it looks like. I'll take a picture here and put it right there, but it's crazy to me. And it's, you know, it in the story, this is my reread, okay? In the story, it grows really fast, okay? Like, it doesn't take years for it to grow, like, fully develop or whatever. It, like, grows within a blink of an eye. It's rapidly growing. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you hide this in a village like, you know? Like, where everybody's like, witch, that kind of thing. So it's just, that's so strange to me. But it just, in my head, I'm like, I can't imagine it being not cute. Even if it's supposed to be monstrous. Like, in my head, it just looks really cute. Well, this is take 2 because I spilled whatever I was showing because it was on the thing, on the parchment paper.
Don't do it again.
It was on parchment paper, that's why it fell. But I'm making decorations, hanging cinnamon oranges to hang up for abundance and positivity. So we're going to do that. I'm going to put some audiobook on. I know it's supposed to be Gothic, but I think it's going to be spooky as well. And I'll put this thriller up here and show you what it is. And it just sounds interesting. Very interesting. Okay, well, the book is about a lady that books this Airbnb in this ranch in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. And there's obviously, she's from like New York or something. And she's tech savvy, not tech savvy, but obviously you've got internet and everything over there. So there's no cell phone service, and the owner of the Airbnb is like this handsome fellow. They start, I'm assuming that they hook up or whatever, but they start falling for each other. But then as the date like comes to a close for her to like leave, shit just hits the fan, and people keep lying to each other. Maybe she came there for a more sinister reason than just needing a vacation. So that's what it is. It's like 6 hours long audio. It's really short. So I'm gonna listen to. Okay, we're back in the kitchen, and I am making melty Monterey Jack burgers from HelloFresh. Not sponsored, obviously, very small account. But I'm making the food while I'm listening to the audiobook, and so far they make it try to sound like in You Shouldn't Have Come Here. They make it try to sound like both, not both characters, but I feel like the author tried to make it sound like Calvin, the male main character who owns the Airbnb, is creepy and obsessive with Grace, our female main character. And he's like, Grace, I could be with Grace. I could really do this thing with Grace. Grace is all I can think about. But then and then you meet people from the Wyoming little small town here. You meet Betty, who works at like a boutique shop around this town, and she is like weird and kind of creepy. Tries to make conversation with Grace and is like kind of smiling too much. Just uneasy feeling comes over Grace. But in my head, I don't know why, but in my head, I'm seeing all this foreshadowing. Maybe it's not foreshadowing. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But Grace is also... Moose, get down. My goodness. Bad. No. But not Moose. Grace is also kind of like a bad character, I think. Because at the beginning of the book, it shows her putting books on top of a desk, and she's like, "These are the books I want to get to during my vacation. Usually, I'm a speed reader, and I can read the romance first, and then a self-help book, and then a mystery or a thriller. No, a horror, and then a thriller." And I'm like, what you coming from, Grace? And then he's like talking about food that he made, and she's like, and he's like, what do you normally eat? And she goes, the normal thing, and doesn't answer like what she normally does eat. So I'm like, Grace, what are you up to? And she's always wearing like dark colors. And she's just giving me weird vibes too. And she was like, oh, she keeps talking. Oh, there was like farm animals that were getting killed on the farmland, and he was like, well, let me clean this up because you don't need to be cleaning this up. And she's like, no, I got this. I got it. I'll help you. And she's like, she's not smiling, but it says that her eyes are smiling. And I'm like, this girl is creepy. Both of them are creepy. And they were like cut from the same cloth is what they were saying. I said, we're about to see, I feel like, two killers or two weirdos going at it at the end of the book. That's my prediction. So that's what we're doing. We're listening to while I'm cooking. Dude, what? They're fishing, okay? And they're doing like the you catch one first, skinny dip, blah, blah, blah. Dude, what? One of the girls comes up, and it's making it to where it's like jealousy, but I feel like she came up to like be protective of the other girl or something. I don't know, in my mind I'm thinking that. Because the motherfucker just said, I like it when they fight. Excuse me? Like when she was pulling up something, and just casually dropped something. I like it when they fight. Like in his brain. He didn't say it out loud. Like, what? Wait, what? So I finished the audiobook for You Should Have Come Here. I gave it a 1 star on Goodreads because that is what it deserved in my book. Because not, sorry, Moose is over here licking my arm, but I think the pacing was awful. You could see the plot twist from a mile away in my eyes. And I'm the type of person that really enjoys thriller and tries not to think about it too hard because I'm immersed in the book that I'm reading. So I'm really trying not to figure out the plot twist until the writing gets unbearable. The pacing was super slow. It read like a quote unquote romance for the first 85% of the book or something like that. And I said quote unquote because I don't know what kind of encyclopedia she had or what like list of analogies and similes she had, but to say her blue eyes, blah la 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 la, every single chapter to describe how blue her eyes were is remarkable. I cannot believe that you are. I don't want to be an asshole, but like I can't believe that this was published and like they thought it was a masterpiece. Like a lot of people are saying that's a masterpiece. To each their own, but to describe somebody's eyes as blue almost every single chapter, and there's quite a few chapters, I think there was like 40, is bizarre to me, okay? And I know the guy, you gotta think he's creepy, you gotta think that she's creepy, you gotta think everybody in the town's fucking creepy, okay? But there's other things you can say, like the ocean, be I know that's overused, but at least it's not her blue eyes. Okay, what kind of blue? Me saying blue is gonna be different from your blue. Maybe I'm just going on a tangent right now and complaining about nothing. But anyways, you can see the plot twist from a mile away. Well, in my eyes, I could. There was another plot twist that I was like, oh, okay, it feels like she just kind of threw that in there. And I just hated the ending. The ending just was like, okay, all right. And then I'm trying not to say too much without spoiling the book, but some of it didn't make any sense to me because she was describing the characters in such a way that you were like, okay, who is the real creeper in this little town? Okay. And you would like pull stuff together and then it just all of it is just kind of in shambles at that point. But anyway, I am erasing that book from my head and am upset for the last 6 hours that I was listening to that book just kind of meant nothing. And I'm going to continue reading Anathema. And I did start like a little 288 page like novella. I'm going to say novella because it is under the 300 pages. And it's a werewolf. Here's the book up there. I put it up there. But it is a werewolf, like alpha, omega type book. Because I was just in the mood to read it. Because I saw this Pocket FM ad. And I like listened to it for like 30 whole minutes. I was like, oh my God, I need something like this. Without realizing it. But the book centers around this girl. Sorry, Moose is scratching himself. But centers around this girl who has this mate. The mate is like the king of alphas. The king of alphas can't feel the mate bond or whatever, and like thinks she's like essentially joking, and she's like, oh my God, no. And she feels the mate bond. He exiles her and she has to go for the next 6 months of just being exiled while still feeling this bond. And then in 6 months she severs it when she is like feels like she is mad enough to essentially live out of spite, because you could probably die if you sever the bond, and it's illegal to sever a bond of your mates. And it just goes on to show like he was in the book. This is not really spoilers because it's there, but in the book, he is never able to feel his like wolf, and when she severs it, he like transforms into his wolf finally, and it seems like somebody is controlling him. That's why he couldn't feel the mate bond, and then it just goes through the story of him groveling pretty much for her and her affections. It's really cute, very, very cute. Almost very lighthearted romance. I appreciated it. I'm about over halfway done. It's this book. I can't remember the name of it, but for the life of me, but it's a 3.5 star read right now. That's pretty good, and I'll let you know my updates on Anathema and that book. Okay, so I'm at a Barnes & Noble because it is the 30th, and so I'm looking for a specific couple of books. I'm looking for House of Rain by Harley LaRue, and then I'm looking for Soul Searching by Lila Sage, and then there's one called Second Death of Locke, and I can't remember the author, but I'm looking for those 3 specifically. So I'll see you when I get in there, and then we'll just look around and have a little book date. Secured. Okay. I put down Bitten. I did buy Soul Searching by Lila Sage. I'm very excited because, okay, so basically the story is about this woman who can see ghosts, but the ghosts that she normally like talks to and they talk to her are shutting her out, and she goes back to home to Wyoming, and she doesn't want to stay with her parents or something of the sort, that like her parents' shop is being taken over by him, or he's trying to, and she doesn't want to stay with her parents or something, and so she rents a room above his store, and romance, but also supernatural. Very excited. It's kind of thicky. It's very thicky. It's kind of thicky compared to her normal books, and I don't know if it's the size of them, but it's 350 pages or something of the sort. So I'm very excited. I gotta take the sticker off when I get home. But that's the first one. And then the second one, I'm so excited for. Okay, y'all, look. I'm a Harley LaRue stan. So when this came out, girl, you know I'm out and buying it. So it's a Gothic romance. It's a sapphic Gothic romance. And it's about Salem and Rain. So we have the synopsis here. I'm gonna read. A night of forbidden passion opens a Pandora's box of dangerous secrets and dark magic on a remote island. I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to be marrying my fiance, looking forward to a honeymoon. Instead, I found myself on a ferry headed for historic Balfour Manor on Black Ridge Island in the PNW. Now I'm stranded with Rain, a woman I'm irresistibly drawn to. Rain holds a secret as dark and mysterious as her old house. Crimson shadows stalk the halls and strange voices call out in the night, but it's she who haunts me most. Following a gruesome murder, the island's true nature is revealed, and every night becomes a fight for survival. Something is stalking the forest, killing indiscriminately, and this time where it's prey. Rain. Death has followed me since childhood. My mother's murderer and father's violent death changed me, teaching me just how cruel the world can be. I never got what I wanted until Salem showed up at my door. She's adventurous, beautiful, and doomed if she stays here. Now I'm suddenly having something to lose. The woman who broke down my walls and saw through my mask and showed me I'm worth loving. My family has long been buried, but even the vilest of secrets must be dug up again to survive the evil that haunts us. I finally have something to fight for, and I'll do whatever it takes to save her. Y'all, I'm so excited. And this is my first Harley LaRue book that is trad published, because I'm not tooting my own horn or anything. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I followed her whenever she started making books, and she follows me on Instagram. It's really funny. And ever since then, I have been a mad supporter of her, and just to see this is crazy to me. Like, look how beautiful that is. I love it. I love it. Love to see it. And then the last purchase was kind of like a surprise purchase because I saw it and I said, look, I need it because I journal a ton, and I bought a new journal, and I'm probably gonna do it for my 2026. Oh my god, it's 2025 already. 2026 book journal, but also I have a scrapbooking journal that I have, and then I have a book where I put a bunch of other stuff in it, and it's called The Enchanted Forest by Paper Love, and it's like 160 tear off pages for writing, crafting, or sharing. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, look. We've got a bunch of random like pages, like blank pages and stuff, right? But then they have envelopes. Then they have postcards. And then they have, hold on, let's get to it. They have little posters and stuff like that, but then they have bookmarks. Y'all, they have bookmarks. I'm tearing out all them bitches. And then they have coloring pages and stickers. And stickers. And then they have crafting pages. But then they have this thing, which it kind of came off, but it's wrapping paper. They have wrapping paper, dude. And oh my god, tags, and more wrapping paper. Dude, I'm in love. So I'm very excited that I got this. So that was my shopping haul. Well, I was going to go to Barnes & Noble for another book, okay? There's another Barnes & Noble near me, and I was gonna go and see if I wanted to go get it, but I don't know if I want to go get it. It's called The Second Death of Locke. They didn't have it at the one I just went to, but they have one left in stock at the other Barnes & Noble, and I'm like debating on going or not, and I'm just like, it's like 20 minutes away, and I'm like, do I want to drive 20 minutes away? Not really. Find The Second Death of Locke by V.L. Bovalino, I think is how you pronounce her name. So I'm very excited. I did go to that Barnes & Noble because I was like, I'm drawn to it. Like, any kind of like medieval style, like, hold on, let me, like art or language. And then I heard that there was a lot of yearning in this, and the cover is just beautiful. I'm really glad, by the way, they didn't do sprayed edges, because I'm kind of sick with sprayed edges, like if they're just not detailed, like if it's a book box, not being sprayed edges. But that's just me. I honestly, any type of medieval book, I like deckled edges, and so I wish I just totally slammed my face on there. They should, well, that would have been cool if they did deckled edges. But anyways, we're going to continue reading, I think. So I just got an Archer Olive package that I ordered a while ago, and I was so excited. I'm very excited for almost all of these things except one thing, because my dumb ass didn't read what size it was. So, you know, I'm thinking like an A5 or a B6 that I ordered, because that's what I see. Everybody's like holding up this specific notebook. And I was like, okay, whatever. Dude, when I opened this up, I was like, what is this? I got the notebook, but it is literally the size of my like torso. It is bigger than my head, y'all. Like, I don't use notebook space like this. Like, what am I writing in here? But it's so beautiful. Like, it is stunning, okay? And I love me some deckled edges, okay? And then also the side of it right there. Pages are great. Pages are wonderful. What am I using this for? And then it's got this, the little Archer Olive logo. But yeah, I don't know what to use this for. And I was like, okay, maybe I can do like scrapbooking or whatever. Girl, this is too much page for scrapbooking. Yep. I got me some washi tape, moons and moths and stars because your girl loves celestial things. Nightly tea and just looking at it because it is too beautiful to just have in my little cupboard. And then, it is so pretty. I wish I got 2 of these, like a matching set, but definitely going to be putting this somewhere that's not in my cupboard so it's not risky getting scratched or broken. Primarily stationary website, but they had this bag and I literally could not resist. Like they had the cute like bag, like bat charm on there and then their logo, but like the bag itself is like a nice size, okay? Clips, it's a nice big compartment in the middle, gold and black, everything I love. I literally wear gold and black all the time. It's sleek, big. And I was like, that would be perfect for like my work bag, but like everyday bag too. So now I have a new purse. I have updated my purse that I've used for like 3-4 years. So yeah, that's my haul from Archer and Olive. I just finished Mountain Boss by S.J. Tilley. It had no reason being that good, number one. Number two, emotional maturity was very high. Like, I thought we were gonna have a third act breakup or something, right? No third act breakup. The characters were so understanding of each other and like talked things out. And I was just like, it was so, and the angst was like, think of like Mariana Zapata level angst, but you don't have to wait until the last 40 pages to get anything out of it. So you're getting like things throughout the book, but honestly, the romance is crazy. It is so good. Like I thought I was going into it because I wanted to like something like a break from the fantasy world building and things in Anathema. No. I like teared up so many times like reading this book because I was like, oh my god, like the things he was saying to her, big burly like lumberjack man, being very soft for this one woman who he calls Cookie, which was just cringe. I thought it was gonna go down in rating, but it never did. I gave it a 5. I was like, I don't care. I don't care if he calls her Cookie, honestly. It's weird, but it's just like, it's fitting. She dresses up her cactus as a pet. It's so funny. But it's so cute. Oh my god, please read it. If you like, hyper independent women and them like kind of opening up to somebody that wants to be taken care of and is like lonely, do it. It's so good. Okay, I DNF'd the Hollow Alpha because I was just kind of reading a little too cringy and it wasn't getting anywhere and it wasn't funny. And it's only 244 pages, which is kind of nuts. I should have finished it, but I just couldn't. So we DNF'd it and downloaded another lumberjack, like mountain men novel. Because I literally read the other one like less than a day. It was 500 pages. That's how addicted I was. And I am in the middle of Anathema and I haven't picked up, even though it's good, it's great, I love it. I don't know what got into me, but now I'm like wanting and hyper fixated on this mountain men scenario. And I'm sorry, it's gotta happen. Okay, so this is the update video finally after I don't even like 2-3 days or something afterwards. I finally finished Anathema by Carrie Lake, my reread, because I did read this last year and gave it a 3 stars, and I feel like it wasn't fair of me to do that because every single book I've read by Carrie Lake has been like a 5 star. Oh, I'm so serious. You go look at my Goodreads, every single book has been like a 5 star. So I was like, what was I on? Because this reread that I did, 5 star. So I don't know what was happening at the time when I read this first initially. But I wasn't there. That wasn't me. That was an alien took over my body. But where we left off, I'm not going to say too much because it does I don't want to spoil too much of it, like the first half, and I still have to go back and annotate everything I read in my Kindle version, like transport it as it. Does anybody else do that where they read on their Kindle or their phone or like e-reader, whatever you read on, and then like go back and annotate everything? Cuz that's what I do. Because I read faster on my Kindle than I do my physical copy, and obviously my physical copy is for like a lot of it. If I get the whole backlist, like I did with Carrie, um, I'll annotate it. Anyways, so she and Vander are training now. I don't know where I left off in my last update, but her and Zavander and Dolian are training, and Allura are training, and she's getting closer to Rakaya, the sister, Zavander's sister. And she's like somewhat of a sister figure instead of her actual sister, who is obviously lost, and she's going to go find her later, or try to find her later. And the high mages, or the king's mages, are essentially the bad guys at this moment in time because they're trying to kill, like I said at the beginning, they're trying to kill every one of every bloodline to get this Septimere staff thing to do something. They wanted it originally, like Zavander and Dolian, to get rid of Cadavros, which is the main mage, like bad guy, but he died. And so now what do these people want to do with that? They want to get rid of Cadavros, but turns out something happened. I'm not going to say who, what, where, when, and why, but something happened, and now these mages want the Septimere, and that's that. Zavander and Mavith's relationship take a turn, and my god, he calls her, I can't even pronounce this word, but he calls her my little moon witch. Can I be a moon witch? Can I be somebody's moon witch? Because to be called a moon witch is my dream, okay? Last dying wish. That is so romantic, okay? You cannot tell me that's not romantic. But she also has this cool little power, the bone whip, and it's like super powerful. Nobody knows really anything much about it except that they could do it. And like the Corvagon is the bird. The holy shit, how did I forget what she is? Corvacay. The Corvacay people do it. They can get the major glyph and bone whip people and break all their bones and stuff like that. It was really cool. And she's like, Corvacay people are, oh, they're just so cool. They're just so cool. And you get to learn backstory about some of the major gods, and you're like, oh my god, I see the relation between Mavith and the god, or Zavander and that god, and like, oh, it's so good. And if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend reading it sometime during this season because it is perfect, okay? Fall is upon us. It's getting colder, the leaves are falling. Well, hopefully it's getting colder in your state because it's not in mine right now, even though I'm wearing a sweater. I just wanted to be in the mood. But highly recommend. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And you enjoyed the comfy coziness of my, ultimate book vlog, fall vlog. And I hope you have a good rest of the week. like, subscribe, and comment. Okay, yeah. And sorry. And I hope you have a good week.